Who was on the quiz team? Orange. Yes.
कौन बनेगा करोड़पति?
कौन बनेगा crow? Brandon Lee, right?
Okay. Mainly just focus on him because he's already doing most of it.
I wish. I'm sure you just said guitar, strings, or
You do know that
some...
it's recording, right?
Perfect.
It's already rolling.
Hi. Well, Tom.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Tom. This is Jerry.
Okay, shall we?
Yeah. See, I really don't know how to begin. So
Wait.
let's start by
When a girl and a boy love each other.
not like that. As in begin the interview. Right?
Yeah.
So let's start by how you got into music and how you went on to pick up instrument and form the band.
You go first.
Yeah, I guess I grew up with my dad playing at parties and people in my family singing. It was just natural. Everybody did it. I didn't enjoy music at all. I was 7 years old and forced to learn guitar. I hated it. 6 months, hated it. I was 10 years old when I was forced to learn piano. 1 year, I hated it. And he hated it too because I used to go to his aunt's house for piano lessons and he couldn't stand my piano playing. This is why we don't play anymore together. He moved to New Zealand because he couldn't stand my fucking piano playing. Yeah, so I guess music always was there in the background, but I really didn't enjoy it till I heard Pearl Jam's 10 and that blew me away. And then I came down to Bombay and I saw Pentagram, that blew me away. And then yeah,
But you were the Anthrax.
yeah. Then I got into college and I got a degree which made no difference, so I stuck to music.
Yep.
And
When we first met, this guy was like into like heavy metal and I was into like the Beatles or that kind of stuff. So it was kind of weird that we found some common ground or whatever. But I think what we both liked doing was write songs, and we kind of had a common idea of what a song should be like, at least at that point in time. But anyway, so
how did you get
that's
into music?
how did I get into music? I thought you said how
How did
fine.
you get into music?
How did I get into music? Well, my dad was a bass player and he used to play for a rock band back in the day. And so there was always music going around me at home, and Dad would have his bandmates over, and there'd be guitars and amps all in my house, So I think, my folks, they said that apparently when I was like 2 years old or something, they had like some music playing, and I went to the guitar and I was like plucking the strings in which one tune of the song. So they're like, right, this kid's actually, got some talent or whatever. So when I was 5 years old, I think my dad taught me like 3 chords, like A minor. No, 2 chords, sorry, A minor and E. But he taught me how to play like an entire song with those 2 chords. So that was, again, your song is what gets you, hooked onto it. And I always dabbled in it. I never really took it seriously till I was around 15. That's when I got out of school. I had like some time on my hands, and I was like, well, that's something I can do. And not soon after I met him, how old were you? Like 17 or something?
17.
16 or 17 or something like that. I remember he came over to my house. My brother said, your friend Siddharth's here to borrow some Iron Maiden tapes. And I had this other friend who I used to hang out with at the time, and his name was Siddharth. So I'm like, why the hell does he want Iron Maiden tapes? Listen to that. So he's like, no, it's a Siddharth, the other Siddharth. And I came and found him. I was like, oh, you.
We're family friends.
Yeah.
Our dads were friends when they were teenagers.
So it's like,
And,
oh, you, and whatever. And anyway, so at that point of time, I used to go and jam every, like, once a month or something. Like, just informal, just getting together and making some noise. With Johan, who now plays with him. Johan, again, is an old Johan's dad's an old family friend, so I knew him. And Johan's neighbors were Rajiv and Bobby. So what happened then is that Mom said that, and this guy had just moved back to Bombay from Bangalore. So Mom's like, Siddharth's just back in Bombay, why don't you introduce him to your friends and take him to jam and all. So I'm like, no, I don't want to take him with me and everything. And Mom's like, see, if you don't take Siddharth, I'm not going to let you go. So I'm like, what the hell? So I call this guy and I go to his house, like, Siddharth, you want to come for a jam? Yes!
So
30 seconds.
all this happened, we were all hooked up because his mom was just trying to get him to stay at home and study. That was the only reason she told him to take me, because she thought he would not go. But he called her bluff and...
Yeah, so anyway, that's the first time I think all of us played together in the same room. And then we had a band going on with Johan and Sean, but that's when he was in the same Xavier's. That was called Vicious Circle. We did 1 gig and That was it.
We did some.
But then,
some
no, we just did one gig at
We did
Raz.
Malhar first with me singing and playing drums and Kieran playing
Oh,
keyboards.
yes, of course, but that was before Sean came.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we did whatever, man. And
Yeah. So anyway, then Johan left for the States, and that
that's
was
how
the end
Zero happened.
yeah, that was the end of Vicious Circles. And he and I at that time just got into writing a whole batch of songs. And we're like, we need people to play these songs with us. It's going to be a duo. So I was like, what about Rajiv and Bobby? So this is how Zero started. It was, oh, hang on.
What a guy.
It was him on bass.
No, wait.
Yeah, no, it was him. It was you on bass, Bobby on drums, Sonu on singing and playing acoustic guitar.
No, dude, Dick, I wanted to play bass, sing, and play drums.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Whatever.
He wanted to play bass. Yeah, it was like he would
Yeah,
like
whatever.
he would switch
Whatever
with
I
Bobby.
felt
and-
like playing in the
So
song.
anyway, so
I
I
played.
cut to the chase after like a few times of this. I'm like, look, you have to go back and play drums. Can't play bass. So he's a great drummer. He always was because I never ever heard him. Like you hear some guys start to play drums for the first time, they absolutely suck. This guy, I never heard him suck. I mean, he just got better.
Eventually, I sucked here and there.
Yeah, but he did have a certain amount of proficiency at that point of time. You could just tell that he could just hold a groove together, and that's what we needed. So
And we were writing songs, man.
Yeah.
It was always about the song.
exactly
So the drums were just an element in the song.
in the song. As with anything else, it was mainly the the melody of the song, which was. I guess that's something which
Melody
which
And chocolate.
exactly. So that's something we always will latch on to. So
Sing a
Yeah.
song.
And then after that, once you started off as Zero,
Yeah.
like, till you left for the New Zealand
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
that's a period of at least 6 or 7 years from the time Zero started to the point I left. Yeah, so that is a long period of time. So
How
it's,
was that? Like that?
how was that? How was
yeah.
it bloody right? It went like,
They just played.
Yeah, like I was telling you guys earlier, like, the first time I saw, like, and Mahesh and Zubin and everyone on stage when I was like a 13-year-old kid, I never imagined I'd be on the same stage playing with the same guys, and
But to be fair, yeah, I was telling. I was the enthu cutter.
Yeah.
These guys just wanted to, and I was like, man, let's do something. Let's look at these people. They have bands and they're playing. What the fuck? We can do that shit.
Yeah.
Why aren't we doing it? Let's go. Let's
he's
get.
like,
They'll be like,
he's like,
ah,
no,
ah.
this is, like, let's play at Raz. I'm like, man, will we ever be good enough to play at Raz?
They just wanted to. They were like, no. Hello, I used to go out everywhere, meet people, hang out in places, tell people, keep them zero.
I was telling you that RAIT was the first time we actually felt like, we were a band. Because I think we used to be a 5-piece before that. And then there was one practice where the rhythm guitar player didn't show up and I was eating chewing gum. I remember it very clearly. I was eating chewing gum. And suddenly, because there was just one guitar, you could hear everything that much more clearly. Like with 2 guitars, it does tend to get a bit messy. So suddenly we heard everything correct. And we just sounded great at that rehearsal. And so that's like, for every gig now, you have to eat chewing gum. I remember this so clearly. And so yeah, so that was the practice for RAIT, which we ended up winning. And then I think that was when we said, okay, fine, something, we've got something here.
And we wrote songs, man. And the thing is, with how we are right now is exactly how we were back then. Nothing has changed. To become the greatest guitar player, I don't know, do you get an award for the greatest guitar player? Hello, this is your greatest guitar player award. May you be powered long time.
So,
So it won't make a difference. We've known each other since we were kids. We hated each other and then we stopped hating each other because we somehow like the music we made. So music saves and all. It's all good.
Your influences in the,
Jesus.
you're opening a can of
huge,
worms.
but when
You're
you
opening a
started
can of
off,
worms.
tell us about the Indian influences that you had.
Indian influence as well.
Shiva.
There was just, I think for me, there were just 2 bands. It was Rock Machine and Pentagram. Those are the guys that did it for me. Everything else, well, I was like, okay, that's cool. And
They
everything,
came and
but
went.
no one really grabbed me like those 2 guys. Because they sounded like fucking bands. Like every member in the band pulled their own weight. Sometimes you just find chemistry in a band, in a lineup.
But that always required. There's no chemistry in the lineup. It's going to be horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Shiva was from Bangalore, right?
No, I was.
I think I was, when the other time Shiva was playing, I wasn't really into it.
Okay, I was just bullshitting on that. No, my influences.
Just asking.
The first concert I ever saw,
Pentagram. And before that, I loved Indiscreet as well. So that's it. Really, like he said, there's nothing before us that really stood out besides them for me.
Same to me as well. I guess those guys had songs as well in which we could
Yeah,
sing along with.
yeah.
You know?
I like that. I like
They had like anthemic songs that I don't know, not so much with Pentagram, but at least with Rock Machine. Pentagram you just watch them live and they've always been a great
Insane.
band to watch. Always.
Great players.
Even when they used to like play, Rage Against the Machine or whatever, that phase or whatever, they were still a band.
But they've got it, man. Those guys have got something special.
Absolutely, every single one of them.
No, two of them especially, and that's enough. If all of them had too much, they would have died.
So
See, that's what
the
they-
first concert I ever saw was I think when the Police played in Bombay. Apparently, I was like 6 months old or something like that. My parents couldn't find a babysitter, so they put like cotton in my ear and took me along with them.
Johan was also at the gig. He was 1 year old and he was 6 months.
Yeah, or something like that. I was like really like a baby.
This
So,
is
like still can.
this is the Sting Police.
Yes.
Yeah.
They played in Bombay in 1979.
As the story goes, some old party ladies were. I don't know how true the story is, but some old party ladies were organizing it. So the police are wanting to play a gig over there, and they thought it was like the police band, So they said, "Oh, police band, very nice." So these like 3 punks land up on stage.
And they had a problem coming into Bombay. Customs fucked them and shit like that. So they were really pissed off. So they got on stage. And the first thing they said, "From the police to the police, fuck you!" Then they started off. They said,
And the weirdest
this is a
thing,
friend of mine who was at the gig.
the weirdest thing is, I bought this Marshall amp from Roger Drago like many years down the line, and I'm like, "How? Where do you get this Marshall from?" He's like, "Oh, you know the band called the Police, right?" And no, sorry, it was not Rollins. It was Dwayne I was talking to. Yeah, he's like, "You know the band called the Police." I'm like, "Of course." And he was like, "Yeah, when they came here, they left some amps behind them. They sold them to us." So I don't know how true that is either, but yeah. If it is, cool. Mike has it now.
Yeah?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I grew old. I grew out of playing 100-watt amps now. Amps like this.
Eventually, you just
Can
have
you
to
tell us
find
about
out.
your lyrical influences? Not just in Zero, also about Helga's Fun Castle there.
There are lyrical influence. What influence
Yeah,
the lyrics?
regarding issues, politics, and
Life.
it was
Whatever is in my head at that point of time. But that's how it is always in you.
Okay.
It's what you've. The Helga's album, for example, the first Helga's album, the entire album was done in 5 days. We just went in the studio, recorded. I wrote all the songs in the studio. I wrote all the lyrics in the studio. I just said, okay, this song's ready for vocals. What? Okay. And then I went in and I sang it. In Zero, I guess I was young, so a lot of them, it is about some chick and some chick shit and some teenage things, man.
Yeah. Stuff
Because my songs now are 30-year-old things.
Yeah, as
It's
long
just
as,
whatever you're thinking.
as long as
man.
you don't ask us what PSP is about.
I'm sure they know it. Don't ask.
I don't know.
Actually, we do know about that. So.
No, that's how the title came about, but what the song itself means.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
It meant
It's
something
just
when I
one,
wrote it.
just one of the songs which just happened, and
No, dude, you had no idea what the songs meant because I don't know.
apparently some interview they asked me about what does some song mean. I'm like, man, I don't even know the lyrics when I'm on stage.
I used to write those songs, just give it to Rajiv. Okay, now like you sing this.
Yeah.
And he used to not sing it. It was like that involved learning it, so fuck you. So only in the studio version would he actually read those lyrics, sing them out. The rest of the time he sang his own shit.
And sometimes I remember, like, for example, old
Which is why probably on stage you've never actually had much of a lyrical journey with Zero, if you ever came to Zero, because the lyrical journey was standing by.
Yeah, it was like old man sitting on the back porch. The time came to like lyrics and so on. It's like, man, do we even have lyrics on this song? I'm like, no, let's sit and write songs. So I think he and I sat and we just wrote any bullshit that came to our heads, as long as the 2 words rhymed at the end. So,
Which is why now, if you get the chance to listen to any of my music now, the lyrics are very strong from beginning to end. Because in Zero, I did that for years. Where what the fuck is this song? Because hello, it means something. What the fuck are you saying? The song is done in some completely different thing, and then catchy chorus. So that always works live, but on I kind of
and
don't like it anymore.
I think as you grow older, also you tend to start listening. I don't know. For me personally, as I've grown older, I've started listening to the lyrics more. I mean, there were always certain bands which I did dig the lyrics. Like like if you listen to Beatles or like Steely Dan, for instance. So Steely Dan, man, they've got these really, really obscure lyrics, but if you actually analyze them, they actually, are quite intelligently written and stuff like. But it was very far and few. As I grew older, though, I started listening to it a lot more. And
you always liked it.
yeah, I remember my wallpaper at one point in time, when back in the day, was this guy with a Les Paul, and the caption was lyrics wasted time between solos. So yeah, I was pretty much like that. Yeah, you guys write the lyrics, I just play guitar. As you grow older, you just develop as a
But
more
seriously, man, music is so much about what's just going through the guy's head at the point, not just the vocalist. The guitar player, the bass player, the drummer, it's what's going on in their head at that point is going to come out in their playing. It's just musical expression. To you, it might be a song, it might be a band, but to the guy playing there, it's, okay, music's popping out of me, okay, oh, whatever, and it's your feelings come out, right? It's expression. So, I don't know.
Remember the other day, like I was sitting back home in Auckland, I was sitting by my window and it was like really pouring down. And I picked up the guitar and I was like strumming on. Suddenly, I don't know, out of nowhere, I had an entire song in terms of like the chords, I had the melody, and I even had lyrics. I was like the first time that ever happened to me. And I was sitting looking out the window and I'm like, why did you give this song to me? You're depriving some poor singer-songwriter of a really good song. Why are you giving it to me? I reckon, it's so weird. You have to be honest to yourself, I guess, to get the best out of music. To yourself personally, I mean, and then also to your audience.
Yeah, that's what I still find that really hard. You can't always be honest.
No, the thing is,
It comes out.
For the music I like, I'm being really personal here. It's just an opinion. It may not hold the same for him or for anyone, but I think just on the stuff that gets me off, I like a certain amount of listening to the guy actually. Yeah, just what they call gotas. Just.
You guys are trained in Indian classical music?
No, man.
Just
Do we look like the kind of guys who mommies would send us for?
Dude, I don't even know chords.
I went for like 2 piano lessons and I told my mom, look, I'm not going to do it. And then my dad said, okay, why don't you try classical guitar lessons? And this guy came over and taught me from the book. And he used to make me read from a page and I'm like, ting, ting, ting. I don't want to play the sound of it, whatever, the stuff that I liked playing. And so I said, look, it's not going to work for me. It's becoming like school. And, it's becoming clever. So you can always go back and say, oh, I wish I had done this or I wish I had done that. At least I don't. Personally. I don't have any regrets about not doing that.
I have absolutely no musical training.
My teacher was bloody a cassette and a bloody thing, and you rewind and you listen to what's going on, and you try and play the same thing, and you try and play along with the thing and match up to what's going on. And you're like, hang on, that. And also for me personally, the another revelation was recording myself. My granddad had this little Walkman that you could record shit on, and I was recording myself and listening to myself back. And I'm like, while I'm playing, it's sounding fine, but while I'm listening back, it's not. So I knew I had something to work on. That's what kept me, just recording this.
Oh God, this annoying fuck. We used to just jam and jam.
Yeah, you used to record shitloads of stuff, man. If you can actually find it out.
I have it, man. Like you, it's not deleted.
My hard disk was small.
Truth, man. We used to keep recording stuff and used to keep deleting it. There's so much awesome shit that's just gone because he recorded. Then I don't know, he ate some bad food or not jerk off properly. Then he'd be in a bad mood. He'd delete it, man. Hey, what? Let's listen to the recording. I deleted it. What the fuck did you? No, fuck off. It's us jamming.
Yeah. I guess I was a bit of quality control in these days.
Dick.
We used to practice in this big room in my house, and I used to set up 2 mics and record all the songs we had written. So we, because when we used to come up with songs, we were like, oh, we got to remember this later. So those are the 2 mic recordings.
Yeah, we actually have some of the procrastination sessions.
Yeah.
Before Zero, when we used to play with Johan in Vicious Circle, we just sit there with the guitar and the tape recorder thing, and we record over and over again because he had you could play the tape, those double.
It was just 2 deck things, right? So you play
one.
tape 1 and you plug your mic into the back
And record it
and
both.
record the mix thing onto tape 2.
Yeah.
So first and it also had this internal mic built in, right, which picks up like room sound. So I think we used to record drums and bass first, just playing together onto one tape. Then I'd put like a couple of guitar tracks, and then he'd put a couple of vocal tracks on there as well.
I actually have some recordings of that.
Ah, this.
Hilarious.
But
And
it
you
works,
listen
you
to
know?
it and say, "Thank God this shit." Well, yeah, whatever, man. We learned our craft.
Yeah.
See, we also look at music very different.
Differently. Like I said, we started off different.
We connect.
found like
We
a-
connect on a level that's not what you might think
Yeah.
musically. We don't really talk music because I don't understand what the fuck he's talking about. I really don't, and he knows I don't, so he
Yeah.
doesn't bore me with it.
Yeah.
We connect on a different level, and when we play music, it works, man. It
Like,
works. So
for example, we went to this jam the other day and while we were sitting in the Rick and he and I are both like, talking all these bloody philosophical discussions about music and I'm like, no, I don't agree with you, and no, I don't agree with you. And then we land up at the place and we start playing and it's like,
we played all night,
Yeah.
man.
and it was like
I was
almost like,
singing, I was
it's all-
playing bass.
I mean, you can talk about it all you want, but at the time when it comes to play something, it's almost like a part of you switches off, like,
Yeah.
and you just have to let it go through you.
Man, I haven't enjoyed jam as much as that. Just a few days ago, man, we were jamming with this bassist of Spirals named Hamzy and saw the guitar player named Vinay Lobo. It's really good. We had such a blast. Music is awesome. It just comes from within you. At least for me, I don't know shit. I don't know chords. Like he said, when he sees a song complete with chords and all, I see complete songs in my head all the time because I don't know the chords.
That's how we used to write. I used to have these melodic ideas or whatever, all these riffs, and he was the guy that put the melody and the lyrics to it. I mean, occasionally I did all come up with a melody myself, but more often than not, he was the guy who wrote it. But I was the guy
come
who-
in and start singing.
Yeah, and I was the guy that wrote the big riffs that went down, and like, okay, when the chorus comes, it goes, whatever.
Yeah, I didn't care about all
Yeah.
this shit. Like,
And-
whatever you want.
Yeah.
I like catchy choruses.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my tip. So something, and then catchy chorus,
Yeah.
and something, bridge solo.
Now it's time for the next question.
Before we reveal our trade secrets.
Yeah. Otherwise, like I told you, you get a whole bunch of
That's
Edit.
yeah. Snip.
Same thing happened with the Nithins. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
The Nitins.
Yeah,
Nitin
Mortiside
from
and-
Mortiside.
Hey man, I haven't seen that guy.
They were just telling me all those bands, and they're going to meet Kinky Ski Monkey, right?
Yeah. Today.
Who are you going to meet?
Vasud and Ashwinta.
Hey dude, then why don't you go interview Rohit Bhatia?
Oh yeah, of course. Why don't
You have to. Come on.
Uh,
He used to play in Kinky Ski Monkey as well.
Okay, he was.
And first, you're going to meet these guys today, so ask them because they'll bitch about him for a while. This guy's a very good friend of mine. And he will have his own take on the rock scene. He's playing this band called Stiletto and then Kinky Ski Monkey. And he's a journalist and so he has a lot of shit in his head. Give him
Name?
Rohit Bhatia. I'll give you his number. Why are we doing this on camera?
Yeah, I just remember it.
What team put on?
Can you tell us about how the scene has progressed since the time you started and how do you see it now?
I'm 30 years old. I was 18.
There's a lot more gigs now. Because
Yes.
at the time when I
What
left,
do I say?
that's what I was looking to do. I was looking
Really?
to gig a lot. Yeah, of course.
Not that many more gigs.
Well, definitely now than when I
Really?
yeah, man, for sure.
Well, there's Blue
It's-
Frogs have been.
Yeah, the venues, there's more venues now, which is great. And I think what hit the, there was a certain jump in the way things went was I think when GigPad came around, because then that lent a certain amount of networking to the whole scene where people could keep in touch. And when we went to Bangalore,
These were all, of course, in the pre-Facebook days.
yeah, totally. GigPad forums, man, the GigPad forums are like some other. You should just go and troll through them and see what shit you can find. I think
it
yeah.
got closed now. So
ask Anuj Gupta.
Was close?
GigPad is closed.
Yeah. But I think that if you
Yeah,
even if
the
you go to
archive-
archive.org or something, you can find like a whole
Yeah.
bunch of them. I was going through it once.
Man, I
Like,
found
man.
one forum post of mine somehow something I started. I'm like, fuck this. I'm never reading this shit. Fuck it.
It's just
Some
like
other
some other-
planet
exactly.
of thinking, dude.
But anyway, so coming back to the point when that happened, it did also I have
We used to actually get into like discussions with people about our music, man.
Yeah.
That is so freaking annoying, man. Listen, I write songs. I write songs
if you like
because
it,
I
you like
can write songs. Why do I do it for a living? Because hey man, I'm going to do it anyway. So I might as well do that instead of getting a day job. So stop telling me about my music. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, great, man. Everybody likes different things. Gig pad, people would be arguing you something about your blah blah playing and blah blah. You did this at this gig and you. Fuck you, man. I'm just a normal guy like anybody else, but I happen to make music. Don't fucking tell me what you think about it unless you're trying to give me constructive criticism or tell me you like it. Fuck you. Why do you all this and why do you that? What? Who am I, your fucking sister? I'm not gonna fucking tell you why I'm doing anything. Mainly because I don't really remember. Remember what stupid shit people is like, oh, like you guys rigged a competition. We've got that. Yeah. We think we rigged competitions and shit. It was so freaking annoying. Then we
I
like,
was like, I wish we knew because then we just go and
the people, we'll
You're
kill you, man. We'll kill you, and all. We'll come and bomb you and kill you, and all that
bloody
shit. You
shit
guys
bricks
the
before.
competition. Man, I play drums. I write songs. I jump around. We played. We won. Let it be, nah? You know. No, you guys, you all rigged it. We'll kill you and all.
Big shit,
Metal. So all that shit, that gig
But
band
after a while,
brought out a lot of that also, which was just so annoying.
I mean, to everything,
It
there's
is
good
so-
sides and bad sides,
yeah.
you know. So that was like one of the anyway. But it's always gotten better. I think. You know, I think even like if you ask my dad, for example, he'll tell you that when we were playing, things were better than what he had. It's like as each generation grows, you're
Hey man, but
like
what,
no. If you look at it, if you look at the number of people that were into that kind of music, say, you know, if you look at the percentage of the population that was listening to rock back in, like say, 1970,
more than now
I
for your kind of rock.
yeah, but well, just generally not. If you're looking at just music as in terms of
That's also the worst. Population is increased.
yeah, exactly. So every
And
month, every
communication.
generation of rockers spawns like more down the line of whatever. I guess.
But there were a lot of problems behind, back then that regarding jam rooms and, getting shows.
We were so lucky, man. We were very lucky.
There was one really
The
good.
Zero guys had a spare house.
Oh.
Yeah. So and it was in the neighborhood. We all lived in the same
And-
neighborhood. It was
and-
very important.
And
But I
one-
moved then and then I had to travel so much.
Yeah.
Shit.
Shush. And there was a great sounding drum kit there. We had got this really nice Premier kit, and I think also like once you have a good sounding set of drums, everything else.
Yeah,
stays
and then
still.
we covered with bed sheets and it sounded like this.
Yeah, we had to cover it with bed sheets.
Because Uncle upstairs had a heart condition. I think he died finally. I mean, his soul is.
And then every once in a while, the neighbors would say, "Oh, it's getting a bit too loud," and then we go back to my house and practice for a few days. My uncle upstairs, he comes down once, and a glass of whiskey apparently was rattling because we were so loud, and it just tipped over and fell down. He got really pissed off about it. He came and he started yelling at me, and then the next day he's like, "See, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you, but my whiskey fell over."
Yeah, that's a big
But
problem.
actually, that guy
Uncle's
is he's my granddad's brother. He had this old tube amp that he used to play guitar back in the day. I think he still does play acoustic guitar, but he built an electric guitar, man, in what 1950 or
Yeah,
whatever.
Uncle Les Paul.
No. And he had this amp here. So like later on, I realized like, hang on, Uncle Leslie's got an amp. So I went and can I borrow that amp? And all this while I'd been playing, like my dad had this bass amp. It was really clean. It was a great sounding amp, but it was really clean. It didn't really have that you wanted. But this whole thing was like meant to distort. So I remember running into that and running that into the big amp. And then I got this crushing huge tone, and I was like, that's the shit. So yeah, same uncle. Next question.
Because you don't even remember what the question was.
No, you asked
like,
us
we're
about-
just asking you random stuff. So,
Yeah.
Red. I'm giving you random answers.
what do you think is the problems the scene currently is facing?
I don't know.
He's a better guy to ask about it because I've been out.
What scene?
So, the rock or
Or let's say if you could say how would it improve?
Yeah.
Put it that way.
I'm no fortune teller to answer your question, and to answer your question, I don't know about the scene, man. I've just started off a new band, so I've been playing at random places. I must say, I really hate playing restaurants, man. It's so sad when you play, but it's so fucking annoying, man. You're up there doing these songs about your life and singing things that mean something to you, and playing, and you actually practice and taking the trouble to come out there and give it your best, and the guy over there is choking on his fucking burger. Yeah.
It's called paying your dues.
Paying it is for what? What is the goal of
The
it
goal
in the
of
first place?
Paying your dues or something. With every gig you get better, So
And then
if
what?
you just look at every gig as a learning experience, you come to a point where, like even with me, like I back home, I do a gig once a week at this little pub, and it's full of like 200 drunken people out of their heads, and we have to play a certain kind of music because that's what they get off on. But the guys I play with are such fabulous musicians. Every gig with them is like I just get a little bit better because of that. Like my timing is really improved, and it's like when you play with guys who have a certain amount of taste, you don't want to play shit that's gonna fuck it up. So you also are forced to really choose what you're playing, and I'm just talking personally.
And that's
But-
like it better in general also.
Exactly, and that I find that's the only way you get better. Just take any gig that comes along and play. If I was playing with this guy, we had this little DJ machine, and he was playing these tracks and singing over them. I did a few gigs with him, and all I had to do was every once in a while just play like a bluesy solo. It was fine. I mean, I got bored of it after a while, but for what it was a great learning experience. And I mean, if you are like a question says like how would things improve? I mean, at the time I left, I mean, I was last year 3 years back. I left the country.
2007.
Yeah, 5 years back. Since the time I've left, and now at least it looks to me, I could be wrong, but it looks to me that things have gotten better. So I think it's just a matter of time.
I haven't noticed.
I think you had the whole big economic boom or whatever, I think people have got a little, well, I don't think the recession hit India as hard as it hit abroad.
You
Yeah.
don't think so because you don't live there.
Exactly, so I could be wrong, but anyway.
Nah,
But
it's okay.
I mean, if you look at me, I noticed, first thing I noticed, man, food's a little bit more expensive. Yeah, so,
That increases.
Yeah.
Anyway, inflation. Hello.
yeah, exactly.
But really, the scene, I don't know, man. People seem to be coming for gigs. Whoever has come so far. See, it's a new band, so I don't know what the scene is like yet because people don't know who we are yet.
I think you guys are doing really well for yourselves, considering how long you are.
But we haven't really played to that many people, man. Wherever we've played, we've done well for
But,
the most part.
but how long have you been doing
Few months.
it? Exactly, and how long did it take from 0 to go from
Yeah, so but I don't care.
It's a matter of time,
I-
exactly. It's a journey.
My job is to go up and perform and write songs and produce them.
Just get on stage,
I'm
have a
doing my
ball,
job,
and that's
I'm
what.
doing my thing. I enjoy it. I love it. I can't complain if my life involves being 24/7 involved in music, and that's what I do. Really, I can't complain because I don't want to get a job where I have to go and wear a suit and say yes, boss to somebody and talk to them like they're. I have a big authority problem. I hate it. Just for the sake of it, authority
Don't
for the
we
sake
all?
of it. So I love it. I'm my own boss. Everybody I work with, I talk to on a one-on-one basis. I'm your equal, or fuck you. So playing to restaurants.
It'll only get better, man. Trust me.
Because which was the biggest difference? What are the differences that you noticed when you compare the Bombay scene when you left and the New Zealand scene?
Well, I won't define it as scene as such, but at the time I left over here, if you did the kind of music we were doing, you would also have a day job of some sort, whether it was connected with music or not. You could be making music for TV jingles or whatever, or that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, that was a separate entity from what you did for a living. I went to New Zealand and I found a whole bunch of people. All they did was just make their own music, and whether that meant fucking sleeping in an alleyway with a bloody guitar or something like that, they did it because that's what they believed they had to do.
I can't do that.
Exactly. For us, we are a bit of fatted cows.
Yeah,
We're
but-
used to a certain amount of comfort. So for us to like say, I'm going to be homeless because when I went there, I worked a day job for like 3 years before I came to a point where I said, look, I can just make it in music alone. And now it's still not making my music exclusively. I record other people and everything, but I like
It's
doing
still
that.
great doing
So
that.
I don't consider it to be a job. It's what I like doing. And at the end of the day, for me, if I'm doing something that I'm like and I get paid enough to cover my expenses, I'll be happy. So, but having come back, at least from the time I left, I think the quality of music is definitely improved, honestly. I mean, if you look at what you're doing right now and what you were doing, but then again, grown older and all that sort of thing.
What we were doing
But-
younger, we were still popular.
Yeah, to be honest, if you ask me, I won't be listening to like all the newer bands that are coming along because I won't be going to like, competitions and seeing unless I'm right? So, in that sense, I don't really know. But just if you look at it, I think that people are taking themselves a bit more seriously now as artists, which is a great thing. Not to a point where you get really snooty about it, but you do have to have a certain amount of belief in your own music. Like, you've got to believe in your own music if you expect other people to believe in it. So, in that sense, yeah, I think that's important.
Can you tell us about some bands that you from India
Yeah.
that you have really liked and which
You already asked us, we already told you. Industry
Yeah,
and
Industry and
Pettiness.
I'm not talking about just.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
influences.
But this is a bit of an interesting one because for me, I never really listened to Indian music. Like, it was just
I
Bollywood.
used to.
Yeah, fair
I'll
enough.
come to it.
But I used to just have Bollywood flung at me 24/7, and it fucking made me numb to that sort of thing. So every time I heard a bloody dhola going da 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 or whatever, it was like, give me a break, Then you tune off on that. When I went to New Zealand, I didn't have that shit flung at me. Then I was free to go and listen to the kind of Indian music I like. There was a guy called Nitin Sawhney, I don't know if you know him. He's a brilliant fucking artist, and he's worked with everyone from like Jeff Beck to Paul McCartney. But that guy made me understand how it's possible to fuse, and he doesn't just do Indian music, he does everything from like flamenco to whatever, like it's all music from all around the world, but make it sound like this, like it's a cohesive thing, not like here's your cake and here's your icing. It doesn't sound like it was a solid entity in itself. And what I got off on as well is when I went there, I found I related a lot to Indian percussion, like even when I'm like playing guitar, like there are these kind of things I do, like almost like like when strumming or something. A lot of that comes from having just grown up. Like for me, like what's soulful shit is like when the Ganpati thing starts and before that horrible sounding organ comes on, just those guys beating the drums, man, that is some powerful
Yeah,
shit.
you grow up.
I've
that
always
moment.
wanted to like sample some of that and like put these raging big fat guitars on it, but that was like what I wanted to do. But at least for me, that's fucking real, it's not some bloody plastic fucking thing that's being tweezed and tweaked and gone through bloody managing directors and some bloody CEO of some company saying, oh no, that's what we want and everything. The fucking more people that are, it's just opinions like, at the end of the day, you lose your vision. Vision is something you need. You need to see your finished product as it is, or at least have an idea of what you want, and then go towards that. So without going, taking all the, and then you later on, you'll fix it in the mix or whatever. But the vision is something which is always, and for me, the way that guy did it, it was like, I just got off on it. Sorry. And also, I noticed then, like, all these little influences crept into my guitar playing. I was listening to the album back there. And I'm like, hang on, it's very subtle. It's not a blatant thing that I'm doing. It just crept in ever so subtly. So, just growing up over here is a certain part of who we are. Can't escape it. As bad as you want to sound like the Stone Temple Pilots or whatever, you're never going to sound like them because you didn't fucking grow up where they grew up.
Who wants to sound like this?
I'm just saying it's a very hypothetical thing. But I'm just saying when we came up, when we grew up, we always wanted to sound like. And then we finally realized, I think for us though, we were quite lucky because we realized very quickly this is what we do best. So we stopped doing the whole trying to fucking cover songs as well as we could. And even when we did covers, we just did them the way we wanted to do them.
Yeah. And I always did this way. I just played the fuck.
You're a
the way I
lucky
wanted
man, my
to do
friend. I'm just telling about. So it's quite a journey.
There are, you have been playing since 6 years with Zero when you were less active.
Yeah.
As you went after that with Posey coming into the band. So there would have been a lot of moments, which would have been really exciting or something which you would like to forget.
Exciting
can you
moments that
share
I like
something
to
with
forget.
Yeah, why would you want to
No,
forget exciting moments?
Any
No,
two
something
polarities,
exciting
any-
and something
Oh,
which you would
right.
like to forget that.
Well, I'd like to forget, I've probably forgotten and I don't want to fucking remember. Thanks. And good things, they were awesome, man. We had some fabulous moments. We had great times. See, man, we were friends for one. Like I
Yeah.
said, to us,
The band was like a
Yeah.
added benefit, to the.
we
Can
just,
you share some moments like that?
Yeah. Any particular incident you remember?
I remember tons of incidents. How much time do you have? I could like
Lots.
spend 3 days
Lots.
talking about.
man, there's no anti-smoking policy in this documentary.
So
Wait, man, I got the peaches story.
okay, can you just pause? I think because of an hour. Okay.
Yeah.
this-
Let me talk about great
No,
Indian bands.
no. Don't get him started because it's going to be an almighty bitch fest. So
No.
That's good.
no.
Yeah,
Let's keep it clean, okay?
while the rest of the guys in Zero were off doing their own thing, I was really into the Indian rock scene. So I'd go to Raz Rhino
He was like our representative. So boss, he go to all the gigs.
Thursday. I'd go for whatever gigs everywhere. Yeah, I'm here, support, whatever, you're there and music, it's all good, everybody's having good time. Let's say it, I'm part of the fraternity. The scene, as you call it. And I saw some fabulous bands, man. And I saw some horrible bands, man. And you know what? I can't remember the fabulous bands.
But you do remember the horrible band.
Yeah, of course.
There was this one moment where this unnamed band, Warren, I, and this guy from a band called Cusp. Cusp was a band I loved. We'll get to that later. I'm talking about bands I love. And this 3-piece band was on stage. And they were sound checking, supposedly. But they played a song. They played a really long jam. You've seen good people jam, I assume.
Yeah.
This was not it. It was the opposite. But to Soumitra Mathur, Warren Mendoza and I at Raz, and there were like 5 people there in the club. And I'm counting the waiters. Okay. So 3 of us are here, there was like 2 people there, 1 person there, and the rest were waiters. And 3 people in the band, 1 guy was like, come down. We're sitting here on the couch as he starts off, just goes on jamming and badly, terribly. And we start off on the couch like this.
Yeah.
By the end of it, we were on the ground. And it just, oh fuck, this is amazing. I can't believe it. We are so lucky to be here at this moment.
Yeah.
Awesome. Look at this. I remember it, 12 years later, 10 years later, whatever. Awesome. But I decided to stop bitching about unnamed bands. And you had a better question when we stopped.
Stories.
The Peaches story.
All the Peaches stories.
How he got his first guitar.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
even better. How Warren got his first electric guitar. See, our dads are friends. They've been friends since they were kids. So at that point, we lived in Bangalore. Our houses are like 30 seconds away from each other.
And then you know the joke. All the windows are holes in that.
So my dad borrowed his dad's guitar, his acoustic guitar, to play at some party or something. And the next day he said, go drop this
No,
off.
this is interesting. That acoustic guitar had a pickup on it, which I bought for like $150 from Haribal.
Hey man, I owe you
So-
$100.
Anyway, and I put a switch on it at the top to put it on or off or something like that. And I was like, I need an electric guitar and everything. And they're like, why do you need an electric guitar? That acoustic guitar's got a pickup now on it. You can connect it to the amp and play. Well, it's not an electric guitar. No. You got it. So anyway, so cut to the chase. He borrows this guitar and pick it up.
My dad borrows it. I've just got to drop it back. All I have to do is go 30 seconds away and drop this thing back. If you've noticed, I'm jumping. So I'm jumping down my stairs and I trip. And the guitar goes pop. And I fall down the stairs. I pick up the guitar. And where that little pick-up button is, there's a hole.
Yeah, the switch is
Because
just
it
cracked the
hit
hole.
the switch and it fell on the switch and it just went. So it was like one broken piece of wood.
Yeah.
No,
The whole like big hole over here.
I am so fucked. So then I went, told my dad or whatever, I got the fuck total firing. I'm sure I've forgotten. And then, I gave him back that guitar. His dad was like, oh, it's okay. But because of that, Warren got his first electric guitar. Because I broke an acoustic. Yes!
Yeah, that's the story.
And his electric guitar was some Hofner.
Hofner,
Hofner.
some German guitar.
But
This
the
is
best
the other
part.
thing. No. This is the best part. I bought it for 3,000 rupees, and it was a fucking piece of shit because every time I talked and I had distortion on, I could hear my voice coming out of the amp. Those pickups were really horrible, and every time I go, and my voice would be coming like from the amp. So it's like, I'm just kidding. And you could only turn it so loud before it would start squealing uncontrollably. This is the best part. I go to Auckland, and I go to the shop, and he's got like vintage guitars on the wall. And I see one that looks exactly like mine. I'm like, man, I used to have a guitar just like that. He's like, where is it now? I'm like, oh, I don't know. And he's like, you know how much that's gonna be worth? Apparently worth a shitload of money because it was some fucking rare vintage guitar.
It's not fair. It was it should not be sold for lots of money. It was awesome. He had the sticker here.
Yeah.
He put on sticker
I
from
know
the Walkman.
the Hofner sticker fell off. So there were these two little posts which just looked like something had broken. So I took a sticker from my Walkman that said Iowa #1 and I stuck it over there. And
So
everyone's
people
like,
listening
what
to
is this
guitar-
Iowa guitar? This guy's
Iowa #1. Iowa.
You know,
Iowa.
I think Zoran lost that guitar.
He lost it.
Yeah, because I think he
No.
kept it under his bed or something, and when they moved, I went to find it and it wasn't there. And I'm asking you, where's the guitar?
Me and these guys, the brothers, okay, Warren, Zoran, Dad. Something happened in the house. Warren, did you do that? Or Darren did it. Darren did it. Zoran did. Zoran. I don't know if Warren did. They all used each other as backup plan. Like their parents were okay. All three of
Okay,
them.
that's not part of his question. So how about
He said stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny.
Well, that's not related.
Okay. There was this time where we were headlining IROC.
Oh, this is the Peaches story.
So there's this song Peaches, millions of peaches for me. So we thought we'd end the gig with that. We used to play covers. We played 4 covers that gig. Let's remember them. Gel, My Sharona.
Vaseline.
No, not Vaseline.
We played Vaseline.
I Alone.
There are 5 covers then.
Yeah, we remember all of them. See, they were good
Yes,
gigs.
that gig was like we're gonna play tributes to our
Yeah,
90s
bands that we grew
influences.
up with.
Yeah, and after the gig, these people are going, man, you guys have written a great bunch of new songs. And
Yeah,
what new
man.
songs
That's when we realized that our audience,
was much younger than us.
they didn't listen to the music we grew up on. So,
Yeah.
like the same thing he said, he listened to white blues, and it's actually when they were listening to black guys. Influences listening to the influences. Because these guys are seeing us and thinking, oh fuck, this is some great shit. But hello,
No.
we just covered some great shit.
Either that or we just played it really badly. I don't know what the fuck.
No, they had no clue that this song by Collector Soul called Gel.
Yeah.
Les Main Girl. People had no clue.
That
the
just
cover.
takes me back to bloody 10th
Oh
standard
man, we had
school.
such an awesome time. Yeah, anyway, so Peaches. So we went and bought a kg or 2 of Peaches. And the point was to get, there was AFS and Pindrop Violins playing that gig.
Tell them what this feels.
Yeah, so they were all supposed to come on stage and this is the last song, come on stage and throw Peaches into the audience. That was the plan. Okay.
Like 3 big crates of peaches, 3 or 4,
2.
whatever. Yeah.
Anyway, it happens, we're playing. The guys from the other bands come on stage to throw Peaches. That gets over really
No, tell
quick.
them when you asked Wispy to do it.
I'll tell them later.
Oh, that's
Wait. Anyway, so there are 8 Peaches left. Like P-Man is then throwing the carton, he threw the stuffing from the carton first, then he threw the carton. They ran around stage. After the game, like, what the fuck happened to the Peaches? There are a couple of musicians from Gary Lawyer's band who were drinking and they decided, hey, there are peaches here, we'll have peach snaps. So they were eating peaches and drinking. They finished all our fucking peaches.
Yeah,
There
there were
were
like
8 left. There were 8 peaches left to throw into the
Just
audience.
like 8 peaches into the crowd.
Because the rest were eaten up by these guys with their, you having peach snaps. Okay. Awesome. And Wispy, the PDB guitar player. Because the day before at IROC, it was 2 or 3 day IROC. So the day before I told all these guys, listen, you come up and do this with us. The last song is to come up on stage, millions of peaches, when we have a ball, throw the shit, you know. Wispy. And he goes and tells the rest of the band, Siddharth ने बोला का स्टेज पे आके स्पीच देने का
Speeches then. Have you guys interviewed P-Man?
We have to. We speak.
He'll get like some 8 million. So basically P-Man's like the archive of these deadly stories.
Floyd,
He won't come back alive.
really hilarious, but they laughed at us. So don't even put the camera on, just
Yeah.
anyway.
Lloyd Fernandez.
Yeah. Stories will be whacked out. It'll all be like some X-rated shit.
Yeah.
Just laugh.
And he goes back like even before us. And he was like around when Pentagram formed and like Colorblind. Colorblind was another great band.
Yeah, we're trying to fix up something with Ram.
Speak to Siddharth Achrekar also, you find him on Facebook.
He's online now. Documentary.
Good
Can you put more light on in your webcam behind? Okay, they're starting the documentary. A documentary is on one window with him in it. Online interview.
Oh, by the way, another thing that's got better is the gear.
Richard.
I found this guy in Lamington Road. That was the time Fender just introduced, but all the guitars were like horribly priced. Couldn't afford them. And I go to the shop and I see this Fender case lying over there. I was like, guitar here? It's a case baki hai. खोल के देखा, so you open the case and there was this fella lying inside.
An ugly version of it.
Yeah, but it was gold. But still, yeah, I picked it up and the neck felt really good. I was like, okay, so how much do you want to sell it for? And he's like, 56 grand or something. So I said, well, I've got 45 grand in cash for you if you want it. So he's like, okay, let me think about it. I think the next day he called and said, yeah, he can have it. So I just printed over the cash. I had another guitar at the time. It was a Japanese Strat. I had a Mexican Strat and a Japanese Strat. So I sold the Japanese one and I bought this guy. But just to find it in the shop, it was so weird, you know, you couldn't really go and see it. Went to Auckland now, so and Auckland's still a small town if you look at like what you get in the States or London, for example. But still, you see a wall of guitars over there. And another thing, all the good gear you could find here, you'd always find it secondhand. Like someone would go abroad to like Singapore or something and come back with something which they wanted to sell. And what was it? I still remember I couldn't afford a set of strings.
I used to
The
use
first
5
time-
rupee sticks, man. 5 rupee
Yeah,
sticks.
from Haribo.
I couldn't afford
Yeah.
more. 5 rupee sticks because I hit so hard. My sticks used to
For,
break
gu-
and they
for,
couldn't
for
fit
guitar
in.
strings, I used to go to Cliffy. He used to live here in Tawa, and he used to do guitar maintenance for a lot of these guys who played films and stuff like that. So they were always changing their strings on a regular basis, which we have to do. And so he'd take the old strings and he'd give them to me, and I'd put them on my. And sometimes on the bass, especially, like the strings get really old. Take the strings off, boil them with like one nimbu inside, and they just get their sparkle back. It's a very temporary thing, but if you've got really old strings, then you got to make it through a gig. Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
And if your feet are hurting,
few
then
times.
feet massages
Yeah.
work really
But
well.
the thing is, after
Hot bath.
you boil them, all the bloody coating comes off, so they get really brittle, but they still sound really nice and dry.
I like twine.
Yeah, and what was I? And man, the amps which we used to get at some shows. I think we went to Hyderabad or somewhere, and
The
I
Shaz.
was like, no, this was with Zero. I think we went with BDD. And I'm like, right, so where are the amps? And they're like, what amps? I'm like,
Oh,
did you not read our rider? I asked for like amps, and he said,
Oh
yeah,
my
it's all
God,
cool.
oh my
Where are the
God.
amps? No amps. Luckily, PDV had taken strangers, one for each of them.
Like, and Warren played them. He didn't know them, but he still played them.
So I took those two strangers and I put them together, and I had some Boss distortion pedals, and I just slammed the hell out of it. It sounded pretty good.
Halfway through that gig, but PDV was playing P-Man, just stops playing bass. And he's screaming on stage. Then he jumps into the audience. And bass is not happening. Who cares? They're freaking ripping it. P-Man is.
You want to pause? Hello?
Parents growing up to was awesome. His was a different thing from what I did, and I guess it shows in what we do now. My parents listened to music. They weren't musicians, so they listened to songs, artists, Frank Sinatra and Johnny Mathis, and just pop, soulful songs. That's what I grew up listening to. And at parties, they'd go insane. My dad could play for 4 hours non-stop. He'd only stop like to hold his whiskey and drink, and he'd stop at places when it's a chorus and everybody's singing, so nobody will notice that the guitar's dropped off. He was like that. He was always on, and he doesn't know shit about chords either. He's just faffing it. If he doesn't know the chords, if it's a song he's never heard of, he'll still play along and he just ham it on rhythm. So you'll hear the chakka 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 the rhythm, and you think it's all good because everybody's singing along.
There's this deadly picture of his dad, my dad, and Johan's dad judging some talent contest, and they're
That's pretty cool. All our dads sitting there. This is when we found that picture when we formed the band together. Because my mom, somebody's mom, whichever mom found that picture said, listen, you guys are playing in the band together. Check this out. 3 of your dads sitting down together judging a music competition. So cool.
And then your dads were in band or like only solo? And
Johan's dad was.
Johan's
Mine
dad, his dad was. My dad didn't play in the band.
My uncle also played in the band. Now he plays in the band. It's called SEL.
Johan's dad, in fact, was in the first Indian band to have an album out.
Yeah.
His dad played on that album as well.
which band?
Savages. You should go interview Johan's dad. Johan and his dad, interview them together. What fun. Completely different planets, but they look similar.
Okay, that's an interesting idea.
Check it out. 2 generations of rockers in Bombay. Shivaji Park's generation and legacy. Shivaji Park gives to rock. We don't just have Milind Soman. Across the road from him, we have Ralph and Johan.
What is
4.
Huh?
2 plus 2 is 4. I'm doing random answers again.
So, over the years, there are in the beginning there were hardly any female musicians. Over the years, we have slowly seen female musicians coming in, but it's still not, that probably we would like to achieve a 30-70 ratio or something.
You mean female rockers?
Female musicians?
No, man, let's do a 90-10, 90% female rockers.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But what do you see as the problem? Has this been there?
Dude, it's Indian society. Look at it. Women have been so bloody subjugated, and they're finally coming out of the thing, which is great. It's been all the way in the West. I mean, women couldn't vote at some point of time, and then their status in society went up. We are at least 100 years behind in that curve. But as it happens all around you, your rock scene is not just a microcosm by itself. It's related to everything around you. So as women get more confident in whatever, you're going to see heaps more.
Well, it's up to those women to want to do it.
Yeah.
Because they know what they have to do. It's up to you if you can deal with it. Because to be successful, it's not just talent, man. It's not just your music. It's looks. It's personality. It's everything. You've got to be whacked to do this shit. It is much easier to get up in the morning, go to a day job, do that for a few hours, come home, switch off, and
back to the topic we're talking about women.
So, tell us about any particular female musicians you met or known.
I met some really good female musicians in Auckland while I was working with them. In fact, it's an interesting story. This girl I know, she's a little petite blonde girl, and she plays the most wicked blues harmonica. Like, you listen to her playing, you think it's like, man, that's the shit. And she says that every time she goes to the shop and she, asks about a harmonica or something, they treat her like she's a little beginner. Like, oh, little girl, what do you want and everything like that. Oh, you want a little harmonica? Here you go, that sort of thing. And it really pisses her off. So it's not just here that, that, like, for example, male musicians would have a kind of look down slightly. But we were really lucky in the sense because we played with Shazleen for a while Rajiv was in the States. And she was great, man. The amount of stage presence she had, just going nuts on stage.
And
She was pretty much like one of the boys.
Yeah,
like,
she's one of the boys.
We didn't have to really go like, oh, she's here, so we should.
She was a total guy. She hung out with us like guys.
Absolutely.
She was awesome. Great chick. Great.
So that's why we did a great. That was actually a really good lineup.
I kind of like Shafali Alvarez as well.
Yeah.
She was originally Tough on Tobacco, started out as a production project, and she used to sing the songs. So I like her singing. She's out there doing stuff. Then Anushka's come out with stuff now. There's Shy and funky. I take it for granted.
We
We
probably
finish
done.
our
Yeah.
questions, so anything you can throw at us, all yours. Apart from things.
So you're really like, oh, it's over. Shit, we didn't tell them so much.
Yeah, man.
But it's so hard. You just what do you remember that one?
Come on, you ask me 5 questions and I'll ask you 5 questions.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Have you never done that?
Okay, first question. What school were you in Bangalore? Oh, this is a very old joke.
Okay, what school were you in Bangalore?
It's nothing to do with what school he was with. Oh, my arm.
Now I can't play today.
Yeah.
I'm fractured.
Okay, that will go in the documentary.
I'm fractured. Army smashy. Army smashy.
Okay, now behave.
Yeah. Fuck. Take it. That was nice. He'd always bug me with this man because I moved back from Bangalore and yeah, who cares? But
Yeah, I remember because when I was in school with him, he used to be in second standard, I used to be in first standard, so a weird twist of fate. And when he came back, he was in the same year as I was. I was like, you failed 1 year. And he was
keep
like, oh,
fucking doing
no.
it. I switched schools and they made me lose a year because I switched halfway through the year and fuck knows, they made me fucking lose a year. And he always used to bug me, you failed. You failed. And I was in second standard and I was in first standard, so you failed. Like I like, fuck, look at my report cards, you can't. Yeah, I was actually a studious kid. I used to be a computer nerd and I wanted to work in Silicon Valley programming software. That's what I
Okay,
wanted to do.
let's get back to my first question is, if you had a choice of being absolutely proficient on any one instrument, what would it be? Like, total genius, both you yourself.
I can't pick that.
Exactly.
I can't pick. I really can't. That's pathetic.
Okay.
What do you all
Okay, I'll put it this way. If there was one instrument you wish you could play that you don't play now, what would it be?
I want to play everything, man.
I'd probably pick the saxophone or something.
I was leaning towards violin because that would help me understand.
Exactly. That's how we get along, sax and violin.
Hey, we call our album that. Sax and violins. So then buy a guitar player and then sing a drummer. Nice.
Okay. Which was the 70s band that makes you go, fuck it, I hate this shit?
Deep Purple. And I was a big fan at one point.
Wasn't it Mountain or something?
God, that is your phase, dude. I to just run away from.
I told him
There are
that,
these
like,
two bands that he always listen to, UFO and Mountain.
Yeah.
And to me, I can't imagine them music. I just think of it as this UFO Mountain. These two giant CDs appear in Warren's hall. That's because I'd be there and he'd go UFO Mountain, UFO Mountain, UFO Mountain, UFO Mountain. I just imagine these giant CDs there all the
You know
time.
what would be funny is when you turn 50, you go and listen to Mountain.
They're awesome.
Like, for example, like, I think, who was it who used to listen to Jellyfish all the time? I was like, what the fuck are these guys going on about Jellyfish? And then last year I got to the two albums and I listened to it. I loved it. I was like, how come I didn't get into this back then?
They're very beatless. So.
Yeah.
I still love it. He used to hate really listening to anything that I point out and say, hey man, you should listen to it now. And I was the same with him. You were pointing out something, fuck you, then me, I won't like it.
It was like, thanks.
Yeah,
But not-
we'll hang out and we'll make music.
Yeah.
Or what we listen to in our own time is our problem. Once I tried to get him to listen to Justin Timberlake because I'm totally into dance and pop music. I love all pop music. And I think Justin's stuff is always.
the only Justin Timberlake song I like is that Dick in the Box video. Have you not seen it? Saturday Night Live. Watch it. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
So I was like, man, you've got to hear this shit because I love that dance production and stuff. He put off his computer without putting the CD in. Put off his computer, he ran to his bedroom, he locked the door and he hid on his bed. I'm not opening the door, I'm not coming out, fuck you. I don't listen to that shit, you take that CD out, then I'll come out. What a guy.
Okay, which is the best practice place you've had?
Louis, man, come on.
Which,
You
but
must
the big UV or the small room? I mean, the big room or the small room?
outside the hall.
A small room.
We had a
man.
great room, man.
Small room, we had to take breaks every 5 minutes because it got so hot. Like, let's get
Bobby lives now in the Zero practice place, so must be all cool. He grew up there as well. What dumb questions you ask? Okay, my first question to you: why do you ask dumb questions?
Because I grew up with you.
Why do you have smart answers?
Because I grew up with you.
Why are you repeating your answers?
Because I grew up.
Which school did you go to in Bangalore?
St. Paul's in the garden.
Making music is so much fun. Yeah, man, this is why I didn't get a day job, because making music is just so much fun. It's a high you get
Okay, what's the
from
next
music.
question?
You were asking questions.
No, you ask.
Okay. When was it? When was that moment for you when you decided, man, I cannot fucking take this Indian fucking place, pieces of shit. Fuck this. I'm going to New Zealand. I don't want the IRS to catch me.
When my house got broken down and I had no place to stay.
Shit. When did that happen? You still here when your house got broken down?
Or they decided to it. Nah. Actually, it was just the thing is my mom went there. My mom and dad went there first, and I could only get in on the permanent residence thing till I turned 25. Once I turned 25, I couldn't get in. So in fact, I actually landed in New Zealand for the first time on my 25th birthday. 5 years ago on this day.
Mm-hmm. In the year 2000.
I remember I caught the flight on September 11th, and the flight was absolutely empty because no one wanted to fly on September 11th.
And you flew.
And
Yours the September 11th survival.
and the air hostess asked me, would you like something to drink? And I was like, yeah. And then she just brings me a whole bottle, and here you go. There's no one on this flight.
What was it bottle of Jack?
I think it was
Jill.
Baileys, I think.
Edit that out.
Yeah.
I drink Baileys.
No,
That's
it
so
was, it was the best thing to drink on the flight, yeah. I don't know, at least at that point in time it was. Now I would just drink orange juice. Hey, go on. Yes. So you got
No. Do you have, just randomly reminisce, randomly of whatever has
Oh, you
that's
mean-
what we've been
Talk.
doing. Do you have any specific questions, or I mean,
No.
just to guide us, because our minds are like.
And wait, once you were playing, another funny story. Once you were playing this gig in Bangalore, and I really, really, really had to pee.
He used to really pee before every single gig. It was the
That
best work on
before
it.
gig is fine, but this is during gig. I stuck. Man, you guys do some acoustic song, man. I need to pee. And I was still going to pee. Came back. There is some patience or some shit like that.
And then he came in at the end of the song.
Trap dum, 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 dum. Yeah.
And I remember once we were playing in Goa, and the sound was absolutely pathetic. Like, it was so bad.
Honda
Like,
gig.
yeah, I think so. I think that was one of the first time we played.
The metal one in this college. people
Yeah,
drunk
and
people-
these guys in front, they said, play some Maiden Man, the sound will become alright.
Yeah.
I still remember that.
But
I
that
was like,
gig
amazing.
was. We land up there sound check, okay? Huge ground. As in, it's like 6:30 or 7 in the evening, it's dark. So this is what I can see. This huge ground and there are trees. And then it's so dark that I can't see how far it goes. Because it's just field, trees and darkness. It was that kind of place. And there's one random stage at some point over there. So we drive up to the stage and then this vast expanse of whatever, open land, trees. Okay, this is the venue, we get up on stage. The stage, like if I walk around like I normally do, is going to break. Okay, it was just click,
We actually broke the stage roundabout. That was like the challenge, who's going to break it first, AFS or Zero.
We did it.
Yeah, they kind of weakened it because they played before us.
Did
We
they?
broke the stage straight up. And I was just like, okay, I can't stand there now.
Wait, Goa story still on.
Okay, go ahead.
Goa story. So we're at this place, the stage is creaking, fuck all drum kit, fuck all sound. But now we're here at a gig, we're in Goa, we can't complain that much. And late night gig, because it's an engineering college. At some point in the night, cars start driving up, bikes start driving up, and they just fill out the venue.
Oh,
Everybody's got booze. Everybody
was the Dragons
is
like, oh, the Ponda one.
Honda. Everybody's got booze. People are just walking around like this, drunken, crazy. One guy meets me. He goes, "Hey, Yeah. The drama was zero. So yeah, catches my hand and he squeezes it. One hand he's squeezing, and the other hand he's got a whiskey bottle. Okay, squeeze her. Have a good kid. And he went. And that was all the audience. The entire audience. There were about 20 people standing at the side of the stage looking up at the drum riser. 20 people. Just. What's up with you fuckers? Come here! That's right. Everybody was drunk. And then of course they drove home.